I'm Tony Kornheiser, 34, the number of years since the Bears won the Super Bowl.
Oh, you mean it's not 51, the number of years since the Jets last won the Super Bowl?
I'm doing it. Wait, I'm doing it. The only highlight we've ever had, if you're a Jets fan. This is it. That's it. Yeah. That's all there is.
So at least 34 is Walter Payton's number, but 51 is Dick Butkus' number. 51 years for you, big boy. How's that feeling?
It's a long time. I don't know whose number that is. I don't care anymore. It's a long time. Again, this. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the SEC postpones more games. The White Sox stand by Tony La Russa, and Augusta shows off its fall foliage. But we begin today with the New England Patriots taking 59 minutes and 59 seconds to beat the winless Jets last night on a 51-yard field goal by Nick Folk. The Patriots are now 3-5, but for some reason, all the morning talk shows fixated on the Patriots getting back in the race. Wilbon, is this a win the Patriots should be encouraged by?
Yes, of course they should. Tony, I particularly enjoyed Cam Newton last night. And every time you saw him interviewed by anybody, but particularly starting with Lisa Salters, he had a smile on his face like you haven't seen since he was at Auburn, it seemed. It seemed it was that long. And Lisa even said to him, it's great to see that smile on your face because we haven't seen it. Of course they should feel encouraged. They should feel uplifted. They should feel all these exciting things. But it doesn't mean the rest of us should think they're in a race. They're not in anything. They barely beat the Jets, the most pathetic team in football. So no, the rest of us have to step back and say, sorry, you party on, but the rest of us are a little skeptical.
I'm going to say the exact same thing you just said, but in slightly different words. I, too, am happy for Cam Newton. He threw the ball pretty well. That was nice.
He did.
Good for him that he got a win. But they went down to the buzzer with a team that's going to be 0-16. Right. They went down to the buzzer. The Patriots have no deep threat. They have no particular speed. They have nobody who scares you. So if you think you're getting them back in a race, you're insane. They're not going back in the race. No.
That's right, Tony. The overreaction now to every single NFL game, it's beyond annoying me. It's just downright stupid because there's too many smart people who just sort of have a knee-jerk, wild reaction from one side of the room to the other every time an NFL team wins a game. I mean, I'm sorry, is there no perspective? Can you not look at this a little bit more critically and just don't go wild whenever somebody wins or loses? The Patriots are what they are. They started the season. I thought they were going to be a much better team, Tony, and maybe a 9-win team or a 10-win team, but they're not going to be that. They're not any good.
Yeah, it's interesting that you would say people overreact like when they want to fire Mike Zimmer. The other thing that was a big deal on the talk shows this morning was how Sam Darnold has to be traded immediately because they're going to get the first draft pick and be Trevor Lawrence. And when Trevor Lawrence is asked about this, he goes, I'm not talking about that. I'm keeping my options open at this point. Adam Gase and Sam Darnold, according to the GM, will be back next year. Do you think anybody believes that? Do you think that Adam Gase believes that? Because that's crazy.
If he is back, indictment.
It's crazy. They're going to go 0-16. They've only got 2 teams on their schedule. 2 left. The Chargers and the Patriots at New England. They're not winning either one of those. On the last day of the season.
They might win an upset. They're not winning those 2 games or either one of those 2 games.
No. That's
the SEC, moving to the college ranks, postponed 2 more of this weekend's games. Alabama LSU is off due to an outbreak among the Tigers, and Texas A&M's game with Tennessee will be rescheduled as the Aggies are dealing with infections. Also, Auburn paused workouts today after 9 players and 3 staff members tested positive. The Tigers game this weekend against Mississippi State, that was already postponed. Tone, what do you make of the state of college football right now?
Well, the first thing I think of is that everybody should have started earlier. They should have started in August, and they'd be almost done by now. The Big Ten and the Pac-12 shouldn't have delayed. They should have gone earlier. It's pretty easy to figure out what's happening. These are not pros. They're not in a bubble. They're college kids doing what college kids do. They get the virus. They bring it into the meetings. They give it to the coaches. I would be very interested to know what percentage of college athletes, what their positive rate is compared to regular college students who are floating around campus. My feeling ultimately is Cancel what you have to cancel. Postpone what you have to postpone. But if schools can play, let them play. It's not like you didn't see this coming.
Yeah, Tony. I mean, if we can go back and get the tape from this show in June and July, I kept saying every day, and I know you got tired of it at the time. I got tired of saying it. How's football going to do this? And now we're finding out. I hope they are able to do it, Tony. But let me just say this. The Pac-12, which we didn't mention very much in there, the Pac-12, how are they going to have anything that resembles a season? Maybe they should they couldn't get to week 1. Maybe they should just say, you know what? It's too late. We wanted to try it. We understand. Forgive us, but we may not do this at all. Because you look at what's coming for them, you just don't know. But, Tony, I feel bad. And you talked about the rate for college athletes versus the rest of the college student body. I bet you it's lower than the rest of the student body at college. I bet you it is. In some places, those kids aren't tested every day, and their results certainly aren't publicized. They're not made public. I don't mean by name. I mean by number. So we don't have any idea. But I'm looking at this thinking as a guy whose school is 3-0 and looking up, and I want to see these games.
You want to
Tony,
play. You want to play.
I always did want to play. I just thought the science may say otherwise is necessary.
I'm going to say this, time and time again, I find myself saying this, that if you've got an 80-man roster and 40 of them can play, and they want to play because they went to college to play football, like Justin Fields said, like Trevor Lawrence, he got it. Now he's done with it. Now he wants to play. I'm more like the Nebraska people than you are. I really think if you can physically play, then go play. Just go play. Let's move on.
Just to clear this up one more time, since I have to deal with the Nebraska people. I didn't say Nebraska kids shouldn't want to play. And Nebraska's kids, let me be very clear about this. Nebraska's kids and Penn State's kids and Iowa's kids, they didn't want to play any more than the kids of the schools whose presidents and chancellors said, we're not going to play. My problem with anybody in our conference who said, we want to go play elsewhere because you won't let us play, my statement, very loud and clear, I'll say it one more time, is get out. That was my problem. Not that kids want to play. They all want to play.
Tony La Russa was recently hired to manage the Chicago White Sox. It was a big story because La Russa is a Hall of Famer and he is 76 years old. Now it turns out the day before the White Sox signed La Russa, he was charged with drunk driving stemming from a February incident. Bob Nightingale writes in USA Today that La Russa is in no danger of losing his job or even being disciplined. Wilbon, are you okay with this?
Tony, I don't think so. And even more than that, my problem is specifically with La Russa. It's not yet with baseball, which is going to probably face in the hours and days subsequent to now a backlash. We haven't heard from public opinion yet, all right? But, Tony, for La Russa to say no comment comes off as arrogant, which he is, and it comes off as stupid, which he is not. But my problem is with La Russa. It's like, how tone deaf are you, dude? These are not times where that kind of permissiveness should just be brushed off, out of my way. I don't have time to listen to you. Because if Tony La Russa is not smarter than that and doesn't become a little more self-aware, then baseball should step in.
So I think that this is going to have a different ending than the ending Bob Nightingale is reporting from what he is being told. Jerry Reinsdorf has nobody to lay this off on, nobody. It's his call. Right. He wanted to make up for firing Tony La Russa and his Hall of Fame career and bring him back. And we both understood that completely. So it lays on Reinsdorf's lap now, and he's got to find out from his constituency in Chicago, is this okay? I can foresee him saying something like, I tried this, it didn't work out, we're going to have to move on. Because there are going to be a community of people out there who are going to say, how can Tony La Russa manage other people if he cannot manage himself? If this is the second time that he has gone through this. I don't want to be holier than thou. I have made many mistakes in my own life, but in this particular case, in a pandemic when individual responsibility is greater than ever, I have a hard time seeing that he will manage the team. I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm saying I think that's the end game here, and maybe you do too.
Yeah, Tony, I think I do. Look at my ring. It's not good enough. As a matter of fact, it's so over the top, in your face arrogant that the White Sox should not tolerate it and baseball should not tolerate it. And La Russa's had a chance now, Tone. He's had some time to figure out the situation, how serious it is, and his whole thing is just, do you know who I am? That's not good enough.
There are athletes that we both know that always take a driver with them so this doesn't happen. Let's take a break. But coming up, rookie quarterbacks Justin Herbert and Tua face each other on Sunday. Who you got?